Hey, what's going on, kids? It's your nemesis, or Big Justin. Just wanted to make a little quick video. Probably not quick video. Here on Christmas Eve, just kind of wish everyone a happy holidays. But we're going to start a new series here. I'm going to call it Book Club with Your Nemesis. And basically, I'm going to read you books that I find entertaining or I think you might be entertained by. Especially trying to watch these books or listen to these books watching, I don't know, whatever video game I'm playing that day. So, first book, and I want to apologize to everyone if I sound a little off. I have a cold, so my throat hurts a little bit, but I still want to put this video out because it's the perfect time for it. So today we're going to read How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. And away we go. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot, but the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why, no one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, grinchy frown at the warm-lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was so busy now hanging mistletoe wreath. And they're hanging their stockings, he snarled with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here. Then he growled with his grinchy fingers nervously drumming. I must find some way to stop Christmas from coming. For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early, they'd rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise, 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 noise. That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise. Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to feast. And they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, 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 feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least. Then they'd do something he'd like least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, stand close together, Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos start singing. They'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. The more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 50 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what to do, the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat, and he chuckled and chuckled. What a great Grinchy trick. His coat and his hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer. Grinch looked around. Since reindeer were scarce, there were none to be found. That stopped the Grinch? No, the Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called his dog Mac. Then he took some red thread, and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on his ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Mac. And the Grinch said, giddy up. The sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark, quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were dreaming sweet dreams without care. When he came to the first little house on the square, this is stop one, the old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed the roof, empty bags in his fist. And he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch, but if Santa could do it, and so could the Grinch. He got stuck only once for a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row. These stockings, he grinned, are the first things to go. Then he slithered and slunk, the smile most unpleasant, around the whole room, and he took every present, pop gun and bicycles, roller skates, drums, checkerboards, tricycles, popcorn, and plum, and he stuffed them in bags, and the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one, up the chimbley. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding, and took the roast beast. Clean out the icebox as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash. And he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now, grinned the Grinch, I will stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove, when he heard a small sound like a coo of a dove. He turned around fast and he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou Who was not more than 2. Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter. Got out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared stared at the Grinch and said, "Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why?" But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. "Why, my sweet little tot," the fake Santa Claus lied, "there's a light on the tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here." And his fibful the child then patted her head, and he got her a drink and sent her to bed. And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. And the last thing he took was the log for their fire. Went up the chimney himself, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for a mouse. Then he did the same thing to the other Who's houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the others Who's mouses. It was 1/4 past dawn. All the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze. When he packed up his sled, packed it up with their presents, ribbons, the wrappings, tags, the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it. Who? Pooh to the Who's, he was Grinchishly humming. They're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two, and the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. "That's a noise," grinned the Grinch, "that I simply must hear." So he paused, and the Grinch put a hand to his ear, and he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. The sound wasn't sad. Why, the sound sounded merry. Couldn't be so, but it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. Grinch popped his eyes, then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, singing without any presents at all. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags. And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. And the Grinch thought of something he hadn't thought of before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light, and he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he, himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast. Alright kids, so that's the end of the story today. We'll do another one some other time. I don't know exactly when. It's not going to be a regular thing. I'm going to kind of do it randomly here and there if I find a funny book to read or something fun to read or something that makes sense at that time. But I know I said I was probably going to do the announcement video for the Control Freaks today, but I don't know. It seems like Christmas Eve. It doesn't seem like the right time to do it. So I'm going to wait until a little bit later in the week. I'll do another video sometime before the weekend. Stay tuned and look back for that, and I will have a winner for you. And so have a good one, kids. I'm out.